From fighting Khabib with a broken toe to having no intentions of retiring at all, here's what Conor McGregor revealed in his Netflix docuseries. I've got to start with the fact that he fought a whole match with a broken toe. Because, I mean, who does that? Only the notorious one, ladies and gents. It all went down during a regular training match with one of his fellow fighters. McGregor was giving it his all when suddenly, bam, he was hit with an excruciating jolt of pain in his left foot. Ouch! In a panic, McGregor had no choice but to tap out, waving the white flag as the agony took over. It was an unfortunate turn of events, but within seconds, doctors swooped in to see out what was up, and lo and behold, they discovered that his left pinky toe was all out of whack and dislocated. Jesus. Welcome to the world of combat sports, folks. With determination in their eyes, the brave docs attempted the ultimate toe relocation feat. They pulled, they twisted, they did everything in their power to pop that rebellious little pinky toe back into place. And guess what? After a few tries, they hit the jackpot. His toe was back where it belonged, safe and sound. 10 points for teamwork. But hold on, guys, because the story doesn't end there. McGregor may have triumphed over the toe trouble, but the aftermath was no joke, and the injury hung around like a persistent party crasher, bugging him for weeks on end. Imagine trying to train and fight with a broken toe. Shitty deal for sure. So when the moment of truth arrived, and McGregor faced off against Khabib, that pesky toe was still on the mend, making the battle even tougher. It was like a real-life, rocky underdog story, but with a broken toe thrown into the mix, and unfortunately, McGregor didn't come out on top in that match. But the best part of it all is that he braves through the pain, not for the money, but for the sport and the glory. Even though he's swimming in cash like Scrooge McDuck, the mind-blowing documentary McGregor Forever dropped a truth bomb. Money was never his main motivation. Even when the UFC wasn't lining up any fights for him after he opened up a can of whoop-ass on Donald Cowboy Cerrone in 2020, McGregor took matters into his own hands by going on Twitter and straight up challenged his next opponent to a charity showdown. Talk about making things happen, right? Now let's talk about his dough. Yeah, McGregor's got stacks of cash that would make your head spin, but here's the thing, that wealth isn't some fancy display of greed. It's a symbol of his insane skills and dominance in combat sport. It's a way of saying, hey world, I'm at the top of my game. In fact, during the whole COVID scene, he had a really tough time getting fights. Things were so bad that at one point he was seriously pissed that the UFC was ignoring him, even though he spent a major chunk of his career boosting the popularity of the sport. But he braved the storm and hung in there. He might come off like a man with a stone-cold heart, but he came clean in the Netflix doc and talked about how he was really emotional after the Khabib match. So the Netflix doc served up some never-before-seen footage and gave us a peek into Conor's emotions after his loss to the unstoppable force that is Khabib Nurmagomedov. The scene was like stumbling upon buried treasure and revealed a side of McGregor that we rarely get to see. Behind that tough-as-nails trash-talking exterior, there's a whole world of emotions bubbling beneath the surface. Conor and Khabib had some serious bad blood between them before they stepped foot into the octagon, so it wasn't just any ordinary loss for him, and it hit him right in the gut, leaving him heartbroken. The weight of that defeat weighed heavily on his shoulders. But here's the kicker. That fight was the last chance he had to take down Khabib. Can you imagine the pressure? McGregor knew it was his final shot, and the loss stung like 1,000 bees. But what makes McGregor so incredible is that he's a man of his word. Despite the crushing defeat, he made a promise to himself and his fans, vowing to come back stronger than ever, and most importantly, he knew where he messed up when he lost that match against Khabib. So after that tough defeat, he did some serious soul-searching to up his game for the next bout, and he knew he had to step up his training and develop a solid strategy for his upcoming fight with Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He took 5 months off from training to figure things out, and during that time, McGregor went all in on discipline. He tightened up his diet, making sure to fuel his body with the right stuff, and his training reached a whole new level. He became a well-oiled machine, leaving no stone unturned in his preparation for the showdown, and in McGregor Forever, he openly admits that he hasn't always been consistent with his day-to-day workouts. Yep, he sometimes skipped a scheduled run or caved into some unhealthy treats. Hey, nobody's perfect, right? But McGregor recognized that he needed to tighten up his game and stay on track, and consistency became the name of the game. And you know what else he owned up to? His own cockiness. He confessed that before the Khabib fight, he let his pride get the best of him, and that he was all about the flashy attitude and big talk, but he realized it was time to let go of those distractions. And honestly, I get his reaction. I mean, the man has been fighting ever since he was a kid, so it was bound to hurt. Did you know that as a kid, fighting used to be a coping mechanism to deal with his anxiety? True story. He turned to combat sports to help him master his emotions, so the Notorious had his fair share of nerves and self-doubt as a kid. Who would have thought, right? But here's where things get really interesting. McGregor didn't shy away from diving deep into his own emotions, and he was an introspective dude from an early age, analyzing all those swirling thoughts and feelings that made him so uncomfortable. It wasn't an easy road for him, but he never backed down from a challenge, and he realized that training regularly was the key to unlocking his true potential. It became his secret weapon to conquer those nerves that once held him back, so he faced the discomfort head-on and started seeking out situations that made him feel uneasy. Why? Because he saw them as opportunities to grow and improve. Looks like his fearless attitude in the UFC didn't come out of thin air. No sir, it was born from facing his anxiety head-on through training, and now the man's gotten really good at what he does. He's so good that he could even predict how he'd win certain matches. And McGregor Forever gave us an exclusive look at his reaction to his epic win against Cowboy. And let me tell you, the celebration was off the charts. He was surrounded by his trainers and family, and the room was filled with pure joy. But here's where things get even more mind-blowing. McGregor's fiancée, Dee Devlin, spilled the beans on something truly incredible. Weeks before the fight, Conor made a bold prediction to Dee, saying, "Everyone thinks he's gonna knock me out with a head kick. Well, I'm gonna knock him out with a head kick." Can you believe it? Conor saw it coming, visualized it, and made it happen. Now that's what manifestation looks like. And you know what? It wasn't just empty words. He had put in the work, revamped his training program, and it paid off big time. But the spiciest piece of info that we got from the docuseries was about his retirement plans. The series began and ended with footage of him in a hospital bed, as he was recovering from surgery on his ankle after the Poirier fight in July of 2021, and even though that fight was the last time he stepped into the octagon, the new footage in McGregor Forever suggests he'll return to the UFC sometime in 2023. Doctors told Conor that it'd take nearly a year to fully recover from his injury, but he made it clear in the docuseries that he has no desire to retire in the near future, although he has started pursuing other interests such as acting. I don't blame him for expanding his interests and skill sets. I mean, we've all grown up hearing the phrase, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." But what's the update on his acting rodeo? Well, rumor has it that the Notorious will make his acting debut in the Roadhouse reboot, starring opposite Hollywood megastar Jake Gyllenhaal. So there you have it. From having no intentions of retiring at all to fighting Khabib with a broken toe. That's what Conor McGregor revealed in his Netflix docuseries.